Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? Let me know if you can hear me. Good? Audio's okay? Cool, cool. Yeah, this thing sometimes it disconnects my microphone when I start this OBS thing. I don't know why that is. Good morning, everyone. I'm JJ. This is tradingsyndicate.org, where we teach real people how to make real money. And tonight, this morning, wherever we find you, overnight inventory is long. Um, I'd say it's about, yeah, maybe 80% long, almost 90. That basically all that means is that most of the trading is above the close of the previous day. So when that happens, we automatically look for a move down to correct. If that doesn't happen, the market's bid and will push up. So if inventory was short and it doesn't move up, then it means the selling, they're selling at a discount, which means you shouldn't be long. Okay. So let's go see what's going on a larger time frame. Now, older traders say they're working out a level. Okay. I don't think you guys have ever heard that term. Have you ever heard that term? They're working out a level? You have? Okay. It's an old trading term. And what that means is that level it's not clear. There's a lot of buying and selling at that level. So what that means is the market's working that level out. Once it's worked out, it'll be established as resistance or support. I say it often, right? Let's go work it out, which means let's go down there, find what's lurking there, who's buying, who's selling, and do we need to put it on sale under 72.70? Right? Or are they going to keep coming from it? So far, we've looked below and failed that level a couple of times now. Boom, boom, boom. 3 sessions we've done a look below and failed that level. Let's go put in the evening sessions. So if you look at even the evening sessions, we look below and fail, didn't even tag it, look below and fail again, right? So this is a fail to look below, and then again. So going into contract roll, yeah, with pretty heavy selling. Hey, Rush, how you doing? With pretty heavy selling. So with all of this selling, going into contract rollover, do we have support here? We'll see today and tomorrow. Now, the new contract, I think somebody was asking, the new contract is still trading only 15,000 contracts. So you can see that the market is covering most of its old position first. Now, Monday is the 15th. I'm not going to roll the contract over until over the weekend. Okay. I highly doubt that the contract volume is going to catch up today or tomorrow. So the old contract is still what we'll do. Over the weekend, I'll do a weekend update. You guys should be looking at the contract rollover video. Everybody knows where it is. Don't all answer at once. Right? It's in that JJ video section, right? You guys should know, people, especially you guys in my coaching class, you should know where all the training videos are, right? Right? Discord should not be at like a haunted house where you've never gone in the rooms, right? Especially if you guys have been in the coaching rooms in my program, or if you've been in the room for a while. If you're not watching those videos, you're not doing the work. And I know it's easy to get caught up in where's the trade I need to make money, where's the trade I need to make money. But if you went to medical school and you didn't do the homework, get you'd get let go, right? And I don't let you go, but well, you know what lets you go is the market lets you go. The market lets you go and it takes your money before it lets you go. So remember that, right? This is a tough time in the market. It's a tough time because you just can't make mistakes like you usually do. You can't be undisciplined like you usually are. You can't be lazy like you usually are. If you want money this year, you got to work for it. The next half of this year is going to be, mark my words, this is going to be a very difficult market to trade. You're going to have massive days where you get these huge liquidations, then rebounds, and then liquidation again, right? This is a speculative market. I told you guys this in December that this market was going to be purely speculative. And basically, what a spec market does, right, for traders, the reason why it's important is that you can't fall asleep. Okay, you can't be lazy, you can't be undisciplined. I hate preaching, but I feel like if I don't preach, you guys just let the information go whistling through your head because you have commitments and all you care about is making money. But if you're going to develop a skill, you're going to have to buckle down and do some work. Okay? So watch the videos, make notes. Like even yesterday, you know, I spoke about something for 20 minutes. And as soon as somebody they go, "Oh, JJ, what does this mean?" I'm like, "Did you not watch the video?" "Yeah, I did. I spent 20 minutes talking about it, so you weren't listening." And it's like, "Oh, backpedal, backpedal." Listen, honestly, I don't care if you listen or not, but I'm just telling you, you're not going to make any money if you don't listen, if you don't do the work, right? You're not going to be successful, and nobody will tell you that, right? They'll try and sell you something, right? And it's better for you if you just actually buckle down and do the work. The work's really not that hard either, right? It's not like I'm asking you to stand with a 80-pound, jackhammer on your shoulder and jackhammer through 30-year-old concrete to put in basement windows, a job which I've done. That's a lot harder than this, right? Right? You're not covered in cement dust every night and your muscles don't ache. Okay? It's not that hard. All you got to do is watch a little red line, right? That's all you got to do. Yeah, that was before health and safety. I was 16, 17 years old. And that job, I'll credit the guy who made me do that. That job made me want to get an office job and learn how to work with my brain. Jackhammering concrete is probably one of the worst jobs I've ever done. So we're not asking you guys to do that. We're asking you to watch a little red line on a computer screen, right? We're asking you to watch videos and make notes about the videos. So if you can't even do that, you don't deserve to be, you don't deserve to be profitable, right? Right? Do the work, my friends. Do the work, right? It's only going to get worse. This market's only going to get worse. I was thinking about before I started, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time for a short. I saw the POC move up. I saw, it's the candles getting like, man, these candles, look how tiny they are, right? And then as soon as I started, looking at the stream, I was like, oh, geez, what's up? Oh man, they're bidding over 8, right? Because there was a seller here. There was a seller under 10. And they were there for a long time. And this is what I mean, okay? This is what I mean about if you hold a market stable, give people a sale, right? So price, quick sale, that brought in buyers. And then the buyers keep moving higher because the sellers keep raising price. So this is a very, very confusing pattern for retail traders because they think this means this. And it did for a whole few couple of seconds. I mean, couple of minutes, right? But look how short. Do you guys ever think about time? I know it's early in the morning. I'm asking you to think. It's a pain in the ass. You just want me to say, here's where the traders, right? Do you guys ever think about the concept of time? Right? How much time do we spend over a level? And then when we go under that level, do we come back up really quickly? That means that the cheap prices didn't last, right? So when we took price down from 73.04 to 72.96, they came in like gangbusters, right? Good. I want you to think about the concept of, you know, and especially when a market goes up and comes back. It only went up for like 3 minutes, right? Think about that. Journal it. Write it down in your trading journal. The market was in a range from 73.01 to 8 from 6 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the morning for 2 hours. For about 5 minutes, there was a sale. And that sale didn't last very long. This is a sales chart, my friends. It's just a sales chart. There's nothing to this chart other than a sales chart. So the chart's telling you, hey, when we drop price, it brings in buyers. Yeah, yeah. So do you want to be shorting it when buyers are coming in, right? Just something for you to think about, right? You need to think about these things because otherwise, life is just really difficult, right? You know, think about these things. It'll make you a better trader, right? Now, yesterday we did that lab where I said they're just going to hold price and then someone's going to come along and smash it down, and that's exactly what happened, right? That's exactly what happened here, right? Right? We're selling. All of a sudden, boom, big competition, but that order is gone. You know how people use the word unfinished business? This is finished business. That order is complete. The order that took the market down to 96, that's done. It's done. It's over. So that's why the market's doing this. That's why people who short thinking that this is unfinished have no idea what's going on. I heard that term 3 or 4 times yesterday, unfinished business, unfinished business. There's no such thing as unfinished business. There's only business and completed business. Unfinished business means that there are orders out there. You don't know that, and you better not try and assume that because you're just gonna lose everything you have. There's no such thing as unfinished business or failed auctions. That is total BS, and what it's going to do is it's going to get you into trouble. Cisco gives me an order to sell 5,000 contracts. I'm selling, I'm selling. By the time it gets here, he goes, JJ, just get me the hell out of it. I don't care. The rest of it, I slam down. I buy probably most of it myself. Market pops back up and I sell it here. Right? So once those orders are done, the business is done. It's finished. There is no such thing as unfinished business. Right? Failed auction is another thing. Right? What failed? Oh, failed prices failed to go higher. No, you idiot. That just all that means is that the sellers put the price on sale because buyers are refusing to pay that crazy price. I'm trying to sell a Hyundai Pony, if anybody are old enough to remember that car, right? It's worth 300 bucks now, that car. I'm trying to sell one of those for 90 grand. That's not a failed auction. All right, London, it's opening. Let's see if London can get. What failed? I don't know. They won't tell you what failed, right? They can't explain it. There are all these terms. Unfortunately, guys like Stadelmeyer, right, who's brilliant, but these guys, I mean, he's a statistician, so they come up with all these fancy terms, but they don't have any use in the real world. That's the problem. So we got a poor high. Now let's see if we take out that poor high. How do we take out the poor high? Well, people want to line up and the sellers will raise price to see if they buy it at 18. There you go. Now you got an 18 print, right? A 19 print. Can we get 20? Come on now, right? The upper stops will be that J high at 38, so that's quite a ways to go. If we accept over the overnight high, don't be short. You guys feel me? Right? If we accept over the overnight high, you really don't want to be short this thing. Because it's the same thing they do all the time over and over and over, right? People short a market where they're raising price. You short a market when you see that they're going to put price on sale, right? So when they put it on sale, that's when you short a market. Okay? We do have raised margin again tonight. Thank you, Moran, for reminding me. What do we have going on? What do we have going on for who's it? News. What's our news today? I haven't even looked. Look at good old CBS Market Watch. And we have Thursday, June 11th. Jobless claims, PPI, core PPI, Magnum PI, all the PIs. So we got some news. They raised margins, so we have less retail. But even with less retail, we got pretty decent volume, right, in the overnight because we have contract rollover, right? So that's where the business is coming from. Okay? All the PIs, George. We got Magnum PI, Simon and Simon, Rockford. Hell, we'll even throw Colombo in there, but he wasn't a PI. He was a policeman. All the young kids are, what the hell is JJ talking about? Rockford Files was a classic show. James Garner was a great actor. If any of you ever want to know how the market really works, there's a movie that James Garner did in 1964. It's called The Wheeler Dealers. If you ever want to know how the market works and how deals work, watch The Wheeler Dealers. It will show you exactly what I used to do for a living. And the movie is old. It's from 1964. James Garner, Lee Remick. It's a classic. Okay. It shows you step by step how a stock promotion is run. It's amazing. It's totally amazing. The Wheeler Dealers. If you're interested to know how markets really work and how this business really works, go watch it. Because I'm telling you, since 1964, nothing has changed. It's an amazing movie. And it's funny too. All right. Do we stick the that old overnight high? 1963, sorry, not 1964. If you're a breakout trader and you're trying to buy this breakout, what are you looking for? Anyone? No? I'm not a fan of the breakout trade, but if you are long, right? Because you can't short it right now, right? You can maybe hit and run short it, but right? Your reference is that overnight high, right? And you're out, you have to use a larger stop. Your stop's going to be down here at 15. So if the market takes out, that's where the bids came in, and that's where the shorts are trapped. They're trapped under 15, right? And if you are working a long position, this is a precarious long. Breakout trading at 3 o'clock in the morning in New York with reduced margin. Remember when we have reduced margin? That's why Moran was really smart to say that margin is reduced, right? Reduced margin means we have less suckers in the market that we can unload this crap on. Get what I'm saying? Right? Right. So yeah, Cisco, you're short the 18s. That's beautiful. Short 18. Next place that you're going to be looking for bids is 13 and a half. Right? As we come into this place where the sellers were. Right? Beautiful short. Nice, nice. Oh, was it Raj? Okay. Yeah, not much volume needed to take it down. They really put it on sale pretty quick underneath that old overnight high. Beautiful. Nice trades, Cisco. What was the clue? What was the clue was that you saw a seller, right? The clue was you saw a seller. Sellers were right here. They were parked here at 19. The thing couldn't get past 19. There was like a wall of selling, right? Now let's see if it holds 14.15, right? We'll rotate back up. And if you're long, where should you have your sell order, right? If you're a long trader, where are your sell orders? 17, 18, 19, right? See how there's a seller there right at 17? This is how you use charts in an intelligent way. Stop trying to memorize patterns and candle. You know how they have like different shapes of candles, doji, emoji, freaking minion candles. I don't know what, they come up with all this crap. It's meaningless and useless. It doesn't tell you anything. All you need to know about a candle is the top of it and the bottom of it. The top of it tells you where the sellers step in. The bottom of it tells you where the sellers see buyers and raise price. If the candles keep going lower and lower, it means the sellers are putting the thing on sale. How much more simpler, does it need to get? Like seriously, why would you want to even go and try and memorize a book that's thicker than the Bible? It just makes no sense because nobody talks common sense. And it's a crime that nobody does. I'm long 16 and I'm out here at 17 and a half. I've got an 18 order, but I don't think it's going to get taken. No, I sold it at 3/4. Now they're going to take me, right? Yeah, Ichimuru Cloud Death Cross MacD, right? MacD sounds like some sort of rapper, right? Remember Heavy D and the Boys? You know? My friends, if you're long here, sell them like you stole them, okay? Sell them like you stole them. They might put in another new high, but at a new high, all the smart money is selling them, right? You should be too, right? Sell them like you stole them, okay? They sold there again, right? I bought 16, I was out 17, half 18. First trade of the day. My brain's a little slow this morning. I don't know. I woke up today and I felt like it was Friday, right? Don't bother learning chart patterns and candle patterns. Learn the business. If you learn the business, the candles will make sense, right? It's just much easier to function if you don't have a head full of useless information rattling around, right? I'm just trying to save you guys you know, some pain, right? The sellers are selling at 19 and a quarter. They stop selling at 14 and change, right? That's all you got to know. So if you bought 15, 16, sell the friggin' thing at 18, right? If you're short 19, 18, put some buy orders down at 16, 15. Yeah, sellers are still there. Wouldn't you be, Jerry, if you had 5,000 contracts to sell, right? Wouldn't you be there? If you knew that Cisco was there and Moran and Raj and Bobby and Jimmy two times and the Reverend, I'm talking about all the guys, all the traders that trained me, right? If you knew that they were there all parked at 19 selling, you're going to sell it at 18 and 3/4, right? Because you got to get paid, right? There's no sense in sitting on ES contracts, right? They're not gold. They're not. Get rid of your inventory. You want to think of these ES contracts like hot dogs, right? You don't want to be the guy selling that hot dog that's been spinning around on the thing for like 6 hours. That's gross. Nobody wants to buy it. Now let's see if it pops back up over 14. If it doesn't, look how that look. See? What did I just say? Let's see if it pops back up over 14. As soon as I said that, it popped back up over 14. Why? Because buyers were defending price? No. Buyers don't defend price. Sellers stop selling. And the people who come in for that sale, just like they did on the last sale, they're there again because we've trapped even more people short on the way up from 73.08. So anyone who's trapped short under 8 is coming to cover 12.13. That's why it's another look below and fail of 73.14. And say you bought 15, 16, put your sell orders out, right? Because it's going to stall, move back down. It's a little choppy, right? So if you're long 15, you should have sold at least one or two contracts by now. If you're long 16, Take the point and three quarters. Take 2 points. Get paid. That's all you're going to get right now, right? So take the money that you're going to get that they're giving you, right? And this is what we're doing in our room. We're trying desperately to teach people how to make money and make good decisions and do it in a simple way so they're not like, they're talking about put walls and gamma levels and radiation poisoning and all that stuff, right? I'm coming out with a course on investing. I'm putting the finishing touches on it now that my girlfriend's gone. I have time. If any of you want or know people, right, who don't trade but still want to learn how to invest, they don't have time to sit at the screen, but every day or every other day they can take a look after work and monitor their investments. I'm coming up with the same methods that we use for trading for investing. How to look at a company, how to know whether a company is responsible or is it just taking investor money and the CEOs having a good time. There's a lot of companies like that, right? I've had clients that were, you know, you'd see the company and the CEO's paying himself like 500 grand a year. The company makes no money. The stock just languishes, right? And any financing that comes in, the CEO, it's called robbing the treasury, right? I just dealt with a company that I was going to consult for, and these guys have been raising money for years from people and not giving them anything back, right? I'll show you how to spot that so you never invest in these dogs that are run by basically criminals because they have no intention of making you money as a shareholder, some of these companies. All they want to do, it's like you're an ATM machine for the CEO, right? Brutal. Just absolutely brutal. So now let's see if we hold where that seller was. That should turn into support, right? Oh, Marcus, it happens every day. You guys don't even know it. You guys have no idea how many CEOs are out there just milking shareholders. Nobody talks about it because it doesn't sound nice, right? It doesn't sound nice. It doesn't sound, it doesn't sound Ivy League. They're straight up ripping off people because they raise money from people. They tell them something. They give them a pipe dream. And we're not talking 5, 10 grand. We're talking hundreds and millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands, millions, sometimes tens of millions. And the money just gets spent and the investors get nothing back. And the price of the stock keeps going down because the CEO has to sell stock at a discount to a vulture hedge fund, right? Or an investor who preys on them because they know that the CEO is just, he's just a criminal. I'm a criminal too. I'll fund him and I'll make a lot of money off of him. So I'm coming out with a course so people stop buying a stock at $30 a share and see it go to 2, right? Our target is 73.33 and change. Oh, I'm sorry. The POC from yesterday is just right here. Sorry, I should have marked that. Where's my POC mark? There it is. Let's see if we hit any resistance here. If we chew through that POC, right, that's where the inventory from yesterday is priced. It's priced right here. If we get up above it, that'll be kind of odd. I would say that's a little odd. Not that it's a tradable thing, but it's something that's interesting that gives us information. There should be a seller there, right? 37 and 3/4. Yeah, that's actually in the neighborhood of the J high, Cisco, right? There's a little bit of a seller there. It's a little bit. Interesting. Yeah, I had an instance of that. I was talking to this company for the last couple of weeks, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we want to make our shareholders money and all this stuff." And when it came time to it, they didn't want to go. And their shareholders they're all just kind of sitting there going, "What's going on?" It's brutal. Exactly, Moran. That's 100% right. Right? This is something that goes when it dips down. Remember we had that seller at 18, 19? Guess what? The seller is now a buyer, right? So the price comes down to 19, stops, and then rotates back up because why? Because the sellers at 19 see that there are buyers and they raise price. That's all it is. It's nothing more than that. The sellers see buyers, they raise price. The people who shorted it here and added to it here, now what they're doing is they're trying to cover, and the people who have all the inventory are moving price higher. That's a go with situation. You do not want to short that. Now, do you understand the mechanics of how this chart was built? Because if you understand the mechanics of it, then you're not going to be shorting and getting rolled over in your short. They were selling the 18s just enough to bring price stability. And every time we knew it was going higher because why? Sale, sale. Oh my God, they came for it just like here. That and this are the same thing, right? So stop looking at chart patterns and candle types and learn the business. It's a lot easier. There's less stuff to memorize because it'll be obvious and apparent, right? There's a standard deviation at 30 and a half. So there should be a bit of a seller there, right? Because if you were long 16, you'd be a fool not to be unloading the 27s, 20, I mean 27, 28, 29, right? If you're position long between 14 and 18, you're going to have rocks in your head if you're not selling here, right? Take the money, especially if you got any size on. One or two contracts, if you want to be brave and wait to see if it can clip that standard deviation and offer over, fine, right? But I would be a seller, right? That's a beautiful trade. If you're long, let's say you're long even 18 to 28, that's 10 points, right? That's a $500 trade on one E-mini, right? That's $1,500 on three E-minis, right? And then you do $1,500 a day, guess what? You're done trading. You don't even need to mess around in RTH. That's why Globex is a great time to trade. It's a lot slower. You can see the agenda and you can trade along with it instead of fighting the market all the time, right? Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And guess what? When the next period opens in 6 minutes, we're going to have single prints, right? There we go. There we go. Right? Learn the business. Learn the business and learn how to operate in a business, right? You'll be fine. Right? And what's the news headline? The news headline is bad, right? War stuff, right? Everybody's shorting the market thinking it's going to go down. But once again, look below and fail of 72.20. Rotation right back up. What's our target? Short-term target, I think, is 47. Longer term throughout the day will be the 73s. We'll see, right? We'll see if these single prints hold, right? But we'll see. Now, if we take out yesterday's high, we're looking for rotation. The ultimate target will be 75.11. Okay. Oh, so there's a 73. Where is it here? Where is my 73.91? Right. So 72.70 to 73.91, then to 75.11. Right. But let's see what happens. Right. Let's see what happens. Maybe we put in a new balance here. Right. I think the contract volume in the new contract will catch up by Monday. I'll have new charts done. Right. What the hell is this? Satoshi Nakamoto, I am the creator of cryptocurrency, but still, I know you appreciate me. I know the soon you will secretly send you the Queen of Crypto Countries address. That's good. I love a good scam. Satoshi Nakamoto. I love a good scam. Look at that on the old YouTube chat. A crypto scammer. Good for you, Jack. Right? Oh my goodness. Goodbye. I got a bridge to sell you, right? Oh my God. God love the scammers, right? Oh, good. We got a seller. We got a seller. Yay. Right now, where are you looking for bids? You're looking at 73.18.19, right? If you're short off the 28s and your stop's 30, you're looking for it to come back down. That is what we call you're shorting the backfill. Okay? Oh. Hey, at least they weren't rude, right? At least they weren't rude, right? They were telling us that Crypto Queen is going to come. I didn't even know there was a Crypto King, or maybe there isn't. I don't know. Gotta love it, right? The power of the internet and low interest rates, right? There's a new scam every day, right? Let's see if we get some bids here at 21 and a quarter. They were there before. Are they front running that level? This is what you guys should be looking at, right? On a liquidation, you want to see where they stop selling. Don't worry about wicks and all that stuff. Everybody goes, "Oh, what about the wick? What about who cares about the wick? Care about the print, right? You guys know this, right? No, don't care about the candle. The top of the bottom's the only thing that's important. What you care about is the print. The print is where it last traded. So here the print, my friends, is 73.22 and 3/4. Notice that it couldn't print half, it couldn't print quarter, it couldn't print 22. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? This is really important. Okay? Look at the print. It doesn't care if it's a wick or a twig or who gives a crap. Look at the print, right? If it can't print quarter or half, it means that the buyers are willing to pay 3/4 and 23, and the sellers are going to lift price like they just did. This is how you trade candles with brains. instead of mindlessly memorizing patterns that do nothing but lose you money. And then you know that there's going to be a seller here at 25 and 3/4, right? So if they lift price over 25 and 3/4, it means that the buyers are present. The sellers will tell you that there is buying. So we found the bid at 22 3/4. They raised price to 27. They ripped through that 25 and 3/4 seller like they weren't even there. Why? Because they lifted the offer. The sellers are in control of setting the price according to how much buying is coming in. Write that down, memorize it. Please, please pay attention to it because it's going to make a huge difference in your trading. If you can visualize what's going on and if you guys can actually understand what's going on, and the thing is, it's really simple, it's not complicated, right? It's really simple. If you can understand that, you'll be able to be successful doing this. If you can't understand the simple mechanics of how a business works, you're doomed to lose money in, right? It's really it's really not complicated. You need to understand the simple mechanics of business, right? If you're going to sell flowers, you got to know something about flowers, right? Right? If you're going to sell, if you're going to sell apples, you should know a little bit about the product that you're selling, about the business, right? Make sense? All right, you guys need more coffee. Go have some more coffee, wake up, and we will see you later on today for the morning session before RTH. Okay? Thanks, everyone. Have a good morning. Bye for now.